Let's talk about project settings. The Settings tab will allow you to set different visibility settings for users and vendors, different project settings like how you are ranking and scoring vendor answers, and the tags that you may want to use in order to look at requirements in different ways. To navigate, click on the Settings tab in your top navigation bar, and you'll be brought to this main page. On the main page, you'll see the star count and the scoring scale, section weighting, and then department weighting. Your star count is the requirements ranking within the requirements tab. The default for the stars will be at 3, although you can set that count as high as 5 or as low as 1. The scoring scale is the scale that you use to score vendor answers. The default will be a 10, although you can go as high as 100 or higher, or down to 1 if you want that as well. Section weighting and department weighting allow you to make an informed decision based on the needs of your company or maybe the department that is requesting this project. So within the section weighting, the default for all of these is going to be 100. You can play around with the different weightings. They don't have to equal 100 combined amongst all of them. It's really a multiplier. So any requirements that are ranked within this loyalty member management are going to be multiplied at 50%, whereas anything in the data science and loyalty program design is going to be multiplied at 100% or a 1. This allows you to view the different requirements and what may be important to your decision-making process. They can be set at any time during your project. You've got the ability to do it within the section, or if you are assigning requirements to departments, you could take maybe accounting and finance opinion on requirements at a higher rate than, let's say, the customer service team. If you wanted to drop that down to 50, then all of their rankings would be multiplied at a 0.5 or 50%, whereas the accounting and finance team is multiplied at a 1 or 100%. If you click on the requirement settings, you'll be able to set your response ones. So the default responses within a project are going to be the default answers of core, configurable, third party, NA, or no, in addition to a yes, no, or a text response. This section will allow you to either require a detailed response if a vendor were to choose certain response types like configurable or third party, and to change that on or off. So if you don't want to require a detailed response, you can toggle that off. Same thing within the yes, no section, or if you'd like to create custom responses, you can do so in the custom response box. You'll have a max of 6 custom responses within each project. For visibility settings for users and vendors, that can be taken care of in the Users tab. You can set visibility settings for all stakeholders and admins or by individual by clicking on the individual's name. This allows you to change visibility for average ranking, what their ranking is, an overall score, or freeze requirements if you have deadlines that you need to meet and you don't want stakeholders to come in and rank requirements after that deadline. You can turn off that functionality within this section. On the vendor visibility, you can change them for all, or by clicking on the individual vendors, you can update their settings. This will allow you to turn off certain features to where they're not visible to the vendors, or change some functionality around. So if you don't want to highlight must-haves and you want all of the requirements to be answered without any distinction between them, you can highlight or remove the ability to highlight those must-haves. If you don't want to allow vendor questions, you can update those settings in here. And you can also hide sections in their entirety within this area. So if you have a waterfall type project going on where you want all vendors to answer one section before disqualifying some and allowing others to move on, you could actually turn off the visibility for these later sections and then turn them back on when you've allowed the other vendors to move on. The last thing to note in the settings tab is the tags. Tags are a different way for you to, add a tag to a requirement. So if you have requirements maybe in different sections or covering different functionality types in your project, but they all have some common theme, maybe it's IT security, user experience, finance, how it's paid, integrations, etc., you can add those tags here. And then when you are working within your requirements, you can pull from the list of tags. Click on the Add Tag button and you can type it in. So if I want integration, because I want to know what's going to require an integration or how different systems may be able to integrate with each other, I'm going to add that, click the Save button. And when I'm in my requirements and I open one up, I can see the tags right here and I can choose integration and quickly save it. Thanks for coming along on this video of how to set your project settings.